Hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome back once again to Turning Pages with Paul and Lesley. My name is Paul.
Yes, and I'm Leslie.
And we are glad to be here with you guys again for another one of our
Yep.
episodes or videos or gatherings. I'm not sure what to call it, but how about a fun time? We're excited about being here for another fun time. Want to thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell.
Thank you.
And if I happen not to be talking to you because you haven't done any of those things yet, now's your opportunity to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you know when we are back with some new content. Hey, babe, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I see you showed off your little coffee, so I'm...
Whatever.
Yeah, we on this iced coffee thing, enjoying that. Reading and coffee go well together, by the way.
They do. They really do.
They go well together. Well together. Yeah, that's it. Well together.
It.
I don't know what I just said. That was not English. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I'm excited about what we're going to talk about today.
I am too.
I hope that we're excited, and I hope you will be excited as well. Here it is right here.
Yeah,
favorite book of all time for now. For now, because I mean, we know that can change. We can come across a blockbuster, something that could just blow our minds and be like, okay, that other book is not my favorite anymore. So for right now, today,
right now,
the book that we are about to reveal to you is our favorite book of all time. Now, we have a little bit of a disclaimer. Our favorite book of all time is the Holy Bible.
Absolutely. Number one, numero uno.
That is our favorite book.
Yeah, Lord.
All time.
Yeah, Lord.
So we're not including that because really there's no competition
at all
as far as we're concerned. But these other books are books that we've read for our betterment and books we've read for entertainment.
Yeah.
And so in that realm of books, the book we're going to show you is going to be our favorite. Now, we do have a runner-up.
Yeah.
We felt like it just wouldn't be right to just of all the books that we've read, it was hard for me. She did it really quickly, by the way, y'all. I was over here looking behind me, trying to figure it out. She was already ready. How did you do that so fast?
I just know my books. Buddy. My buddy.
Cut that out. Anyway, this girl is a trip. Y'all, she is so funny. My wife, I see you commenting about me in the comments and the things that I say. But my wife, y'all, Lesley, she is a trip, y'all. She really is. So, babe, all right. Since you're feeling so comedic today, why don't you go ahead and get us started with your runner-up book?
Yeah, so it was hard to pick the runner-up. They were very, very close, but I said, let me just, make a very mature decision.
Wow.
But this book is my all-time favorite because as an educator, you read so many books to children.
Yeah.
And when that one book just hits you, it's going to become your all-time favorite as an educator. Okay. So this is it. This is my all-time. I didn't bring my all-time favorite book as a kid because we already talked about that.
Right.
I brought my all-time favorite book as an educator and my all-time favorite book as a reader.
Okay.
And so this runner-up is my all-time favorite book as an educator.
Okay.
It's so good that I have 2 copies here, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute.
All right.
But the title of the book is Meet Denitra Brown by Nikki Grimes. All-time well-known African-American author, poet, you name it. She does it. She's amazing. And this particular book is about Denitra Brown, of course, and her friend Zuri. and she meets Zuri meets Denitra Brown, and Denitra Brown is known as the most splendorific girl in town.
Splendorific. All right.
So you get all of these nuanced words, these made up words, but I mean, she is just a young girl. She couldn't be more than, I don't know if I remember them saying her age, but she's got to be somewhere between 9 and 12. Okay. Let's go there.
Okay.
And what I love about this book, Paul, is Nikki Grimes. She writes this book, not to be mixed up with Nikki Giovanni.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Grimes writes this children's book in verse. Okay. And the first page is you ought to meet Denitra Brown. Okay. The most splendorific girl in town. I ought to know because she's my friend. She's not afraid to take a dare. If something's hard, she doesn't care. She'll try her best no matter what. She doesn't mind what people say. She always does things her own way. Her spirit's old, my mom once said. I only know I like her best. Because she sticks out from all the rest. She's only she, Denitra Brown. And so the book goes on, and you have to figure out, because right now, I don't think unless you saw the cover,
right,
you wouldn't know who Denitra Brown was.
Right.
But as you continue to read, they talk about her favorite color. They talk about her encountering a bully named Freddie Watson, who talks about her Coke bottle glasses. So you start to say, oh, let me confirm. This is Denitra. She likes purple. She wears purple. She has glasses. And every page is like a new something in Denitra's life or in Zuri's life. It even has one called Purple because she loves purple.
Right.
And it's just, she has so much confidence until when the bully starts teasing her about her glasses, she doesn't let it bother her. And Zuri is learning so much from someone who's obviously a little older than her.
Right.
And she's learning how to be confident in spite or despite of what other kids say or other people say. It's just a phenomenal book that it touched my heart first, and it touched my heart so good until I had to start reading it to other kids.
Okay.
And you could see, it's something when a kid remembers a book. The first time I read it, I had my own classroom, and my girls had so much confidence that year, and they would always refer back to Denitra Brown.
Okay.
And I would see them pulling this book off the shelf. And my book got so raggedy, but I kept, trying to take care of it, telling them how to teaching them how to take care of books. One day, one of my colleagues wanted to borrow the book. And I didn't think about it, but one day I wanted to read the book when I think I was like a coach. I had already left the school, or maybe I was in central office. I don't know. And I wanted to read the book again because I was invited to read in the classroom, and I couldn't find my book.
Right.
So I had to get another one. Well, a year ago, my colleague said, "Hey, I have something that belongs to you." And lo and behold, she had my book. And look at the bend in the page. Yeah. This is my original book. My name up here. This is my original book. And when she gave it to me in an envelope, and I opened up the envelope and saw it, I started crying, Paul.
What?
I started tearing up.
Wow.
Because there's nothing like that first book.
Yeah.
So when I saw it, it just brought back all kinds of memories and just how much I truly love this book, Nikki Grimes, and the character Denitra Brown.
Wow.
So that is, I said a lot, but hey, now I have 2 copies.
All right. All right. That was pretty good, babe. I didn't know that you cried when you got that book back.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I cried because I forgot it's signed by Nikki Grimes.
Signed by her?
I got a chance to meet her.
Wow, how cool is that?
Yes, I got a chance to meet her at one of the international reading conferences.
Okay.
And she signed my book.
Wow. Everybody, you know what? It's pretty amazing. I can't think of a book that affected me emotionally like that. So that's pretty amazing that you had a book affect you emotionally in that way. Wow. Yeah, wow. That's all I can say.
Wow.
So this book, my runner-up.
Okay.
Well, you introduced me to this book because when you were working in education, you used to go to these big beginning of the year events.
Mm-hmm.
And the superintendent of schools at that time would always have you all read a book.
Shout out to the superintendent.
He would always have a book that he had been reading possibly over the summer.
Yeah.
And he would always recommend this book to you all. And you would always go and get a copy. And you introduced me to this book, and it transformed the way that I saw business and the way that I saw life and how to be successful.
Yes.
And this book is written by a gentleman by the name of Jim Collins.
Yeah.
And it is called Good to Great.
Yes, goodness.
Good to Great. You all have never heard me talk about this book.
No.
Since we've had this channel, I have never introduced this book, but it basically says why some companies make the leap and others don't.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you guys, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
The thing that this book really helps with is focus.
Yeah.
You find that so many businesses, so many entrepreneurs, so many people are trying to do so many different things until they can't really be good at any of them. And so one of the points this book makes is that good is the enemy of great.
Yes.
Meaning that people tend to be satisfied with being good. And that's why people don't, by and large, strive to be great.
That's right.
And that's why greatness is so rare. That's why greatness is so rare.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so celebrated, because not very many people are willing to do the extra work it takes to become great. And one of the things that I learned about becoming great is not just about hard work, but it's about focus.
Yeah.
It's about finding that one thing that you're passionate about, that you're good at, that you love doing, your reason, your why, and then plugging into that and really working it.
Yeah.
I loved one of the chapters that talked about a business that I won't name, but that business had it had a restaurant in it, and it had the core business, and eventually a CEO came in and said, this restaurant is causing us to lose focus on our core business. They shut the restaurant down. The restaurant was doing pretty well, but the core business was being neglected. They shut the restaurant down, and that core business became the most powerful, fastest growing business of its type in the United States.
Wow.
All because they focused. And so as a leader, myself, I took this book and I started implementing, and I said, what is it that we do better than anybody else? And we went around the table and we talked about it, and we decided what it was we did better than anybody else. And I said, that's going to be our calling card. That's what we're going to put our focus on. That's what's going to separate us from everyone else who does what we do. And guys, you would be amazed that anyone who comes into our how can I put it, into our environment, and they are just like, you guys are so amazing in this particular area, and it's because we made that our focus. And so this book right here, if you do business, if you're an entrepreneur, we don't recommend books, but I'm telling you, this really, really transformed the way that I saw doing business, and it transformed my mind. Great book by Jim Collins.
Don't be satisfied with being good. Go for great.
Go for
great. Yeah. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, we good,
right,
we're good,
right."
Yeah, but you're not great.
Yeah, not pushing to be great.
Yeah.
And so I really like it because of that.
Yeah. Wonderful book.
It is
life-changing book.
It really is. Now, I'll warn you, There's a lot of data in this book.
Yeah, it's a business book.
There's a lot of data in this book, but you if you stick with it, the nuggets that you pick up are invaluable.
Very much so.
Yeah,
that's a great book. That's a great choice, Paul. I figured that book might be one of the books.
You did?
Yeah. So my book, it wasn't hard. Yeah, this author, as everyone should know, has a way of writing books that just speak to the heart. And so this book, out of all the many books that I've read by this author, this book, there was just something, and all of her books I've cried, but there was just something about the strength of this book, and I've talked about it, and of course it's the author Kristen Hanna.
Yeah.
But the book is The Four Winds.
I knew it was Kristen Hanna for sure.
Four Winds. Now the Nightingales. Oh my gosh, yes. I cried. World War I, dealing with Hitler and all that. I mean, just a phenomenal book. The women, Vietnam, wonderful. I mean, I could go on. There was another one I read that was like set in the 70s and 80s. Phenomenal. But there was something about the strength of the mother in this book that by the end of it all, you see the strength of the mother transfer to the daughter. And it's through many toil. It's much toil that we get there because teenagers. But this story, this is during the Dust Bowl era. I had no idea, Paul, what was going on during that Dust Bowl era. Did you?
No.
They endured a lot of hardship during that Dust Bowl era.
It's interesting that I've only heard just like passing statements made about the Dust Bowl.
Man, me too.
But nothing really, revealing or that dug into it and really gave you that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nothing like that. Just the Dust Bowl. You knew what happened, but not much about it.
And for her to take that era and title the book The Four Winds is really remarkable, to be honest with you. And you'd have to read the book just to get more information. But this era, I had no idea of the struggles that people had to go through during this time. And she makes it so personable. So like right there is if I was right there with all of those people sleeping in their cars during the Dust Bowl.
Wow.
It's just something unforgettable for me. And that, I could say that about many of her books.
Right.
But this one in particular, I remember every character. I remember every scene. It's like this became a movie for me.
Yeah.
Because the scenes I can see vividly from beginning to end.
Wow.
Beginning to end. The other books, I know what happened. I know how it ended.
Right.
But in between, sometimes it's fuzzy. Not this one.
Man.
Not this one. And this was the one, Paul, that I felt was slow.
Okay.
And I said, I've got to get through this. But although it started fast, then somewhere in between it got a little slow, but then it picks right back up.
Okay.
And from then on to the end, you don't want to stop turning pages.
Wow.
Now many of her books I read while I listened. This was the only book of hers that I did not use audio.
Okay.
And maybe that's why it's so good. I mean, love audio, but sometimes you just got to read a book.
Yeah. Because
you can see it when you read it.
Right.
And yeah, this is an unforgettable book. So many people had so many things to say, that they always say she's a masterful storyteller. They just, and I don't think this book got as much shine as The Nightingale, of course, as The Women. It didn't get as much shine, but it's just as good. It's just as good. Unforgettable. The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna.
Thank you for sharing that, babe.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I don't know if this book, no, I wouldn't say it impacted me. It entertained me.
Okay.
You know, those books by Kristen Hanna sound like they touch your heart.
Man, they do.
And this book didn't do that for me.
Okay.
But what this book did was expose me to what I would like to call masterful writing. I didn't think I would like it as much as I did.
Okay.
Going into it. But you had told me how good it was. And I'd read a book by Alex Michaelis, The Fury.
Yeah.
And man, I thought it was pretty good writing.
It was very good writing.
And I didn't know that it could be better. Well, yes.
Yes, it is.
Indeed, there can be better. And it is in the form
The Silent Patient.
Of The Silent Patient.
Remarkable book.
What can I say that I haven't already said?
I don't know. Masterful.
Masterful writing.
Yeah, masterfully written. Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I think that I have already talked about how much I enjoyed this book. It's the way he went about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the story.
It's the structure.
It's the hints right in front of your face that you couldn't pick up. He was showing you the perpetrator, but you couldn't see him. That's how good this book was.
I kind of want to call him the king of red herrings.
You know, I don't know if he's the king or not.
I don't know, but he's maybe the prince.
Goodness.
Of red herrings. I mean, God, the guy is good.
There are parts of the book where he's got somebody standing outside the house throughout the book. And you're just not putting it together. You're just not putting it together. It's just you honestly, in order to understand it, it's got to be read. He was masterful, genius at, man,
disguising the truth.
Yes, and keeping you hooked, and keeping you reading.
Would you say that he almost ruins it for any other mystery?
I wouldn't say that, because, you know, if I did, somebody else would come along and write something. There's probably something already written that I hadn't read yet.
That's true. That's true.
But thus far, The Silent Patient, in terms of the structure, the character development, in terms of the story itself, it's the old thing. Somebody got killed. Who did it?
Oh, yeah.
But it's the way he handled who did it. The way he kept throwing out these ideas about who it could be.
Yeah.
And all of these things. And even the reason the reason for the murder. Like, all of that. Like, the way he began to just very slowly. And that's what I liked about it. He very slowly began to kind of unwrap it.
Yeah, uncover.
It's almost like a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
And you don't want to tear up the wrapping paper.
Yeah, so you slowly open it.
So that's what he did. He slowly pulled the ribbon.
He's good.
And then he moved the ribbon off to the side, and then he slowly undid each piece of tape, and until at the end of it, he opened it up. And you're standing there, mouth wide open, eyes huge, it's 50-cent pieces, thinking, whoa, I never saw that coming.
Yeah, he's a great writer. And only 3 books.
Even the silent patient part.
Yeah.
Even that part, the silence was a character. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because I don't want y'all to think that I'm fanboying Alex Michaelides. I don't want anybody to get it twisted. But this book right here, and I remember, you were like, I can't wait until you read it. You could tell me which one you like the most, The Fury or The Silent Patient. And then we read The Maidens, and I'm like, man, Silent Patient, hands down.
Silent Patient's #1.
My favorite book of all time.
Silent Patient's #1
for now.
Yeah. It's great writing.
It is
great writing.
It is, and I know y'all. I didn't say anything about it. Yeah. Like I know you were waiting on me. Why is it your favorite? I can't really put it into words.
It's your favorite because of the writing.
The writing is just amazing.
So this is what I find out, Paul. To me, I find that a book is good. Let me put it this way. Once I go back and, of course, after you read a good book, you want to know more about the author.
Right.
So you go back and you kind of do some research on them. Mm-hmm. Well, between him and Kristen Hanna and a few others, I think Chris Whitaker is going to be one of those folks. Mm-hmm. I haven't finished reading him yet, the colors of the something. And what I'm finding is these writers, they research. Mm-hmm. Even Kennedy Ryan, mm-hmm. they do the research.
Right.
They pull in, they make it real.
They do.
Alex Michaelides, he goes and gets psychiatrists and psychologists, and he learns from, and it's just amazing to me.
It is. And the thing about this channel, everybody, that I hope makes it worth you spending time with us is that we're not just pushing books out there. We're not promoting anything.
Not at all.
We are not promoting any books. The books that we talk about on this channel, we genuinely enjoyed, or maybe we didn't enjoy them.
Yeah.
And that's really all this channel is about.
That's it.
It's just talking about reading and books and writing styles. And if somebody did a great job,
we're going to shout them out.
We're going to shout them out. If somebody didn't do such a great job, we're not going to dog them.
We're not going to dog them.
But we will say, you know what? I wasn't feeling that.
Right. And it could be subjective,
Yeah, it could just be us.
Yeah,
it could just be us. Yeah. But that's one of the things that I enjoy about this particular community. Yeah, because we also get to hear from you all.
Absolutely.
About the books that you enjoyed, the ones sometimes we've read books and we liked them and y'all didn't think that much of them.
Right. It's okay.
But that's the beauty.
I love it.
That's the beauty of community. And here's what I love about you guys. I have to shout y'all out. If you didn't like a book, right, you usually drop in one where the writing is in the same genre.
I do like that.
And the same style.
And we appreciate that.
And say, I like this.
Yeah.
And that gives us something that we can look at. So
I love it.
We do appreciate that.
Thank you all so much.
You know we're going to ask you.
What pages are you turning today?
We had to ask.
Let us know. We want to know. As usual, we want to know.
We had to ask.
Yeah.
We want to know what you read. Tell us what you read. And you know what? Join us.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and let us know what your runner-up is?
Please.
And what your favorite book of all time for now is. All right. We appreciate everybody.
Yes, we do.
Thank you for spending this time with us. Is there anything you want to say to the page turners before we go, babe?
I think the same thing you just said. Thank you so much for subscribing to our channel. Thank you for hitting the like button if you found value. That's going to help our channel greatly. Thank you for sharing the link with other friends and family members. And yeah, don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you'll know when Turning Pages with Paul and Lesley has new content out. We really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, everybody, thank you all so much. I really enjoyed it. I had fun. Thank you, babe, for sharing with us your favorite book of all time for now and your runner-up, which I should have known that was going to be your runner-up. All right, everybody, we're out of here. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Please, between now and then, keep turning those pages.
Thank you, guys. Peace. See you next time.